Welcome back guys to another GTA video, and as you can see I am inside my casaca, and that can only mean one thing: we're going back to the Cayo Perico heist for the career progress. Now I've not been to Rubio for at least 4 months, so see how we go. But taking a look at the career progress itself, as you can see I've done the first and second tiers. And on tier 3 I do need to complete the heist on hard mode, and I do need to complete 25 prep works without dying. And to finish off with tier 4, it is stealing 50 million in both primary and secondary targets. So that does mean around about 35 heists in total if you're averaging about 1.5 million take each time. But let's jump back into the tier 3 requirements, and we're going to speedrun these 25 prep missions. Now luckily enough there are 15 possible prep missions that you can do for each heist, so we are going to be attempting them all, including the additional pilot mission for the Alchemist and Stealth Annihilator. All you need to do is complete it once for it to count between both, but starting off with the usual ones that we normally do, and it is collecting the long fin. Now if you do the Cayo heist as a regular thing, you do want to be owning a phantom wedge, as it cuts out a lot of the time on this mission. Simply call it in at the location and use it to deliver it to the warehouse. And that is the first prep mission on the board, 24 to go. So moving on, we've got the plasma cutter. I always find this one just annoying, especially at the Del Perro location, but we get that no bother. And then it's the fingerprint cloner, probably the easiest mission out of all the prep missions that we have for the Cayo heist, and we get that back to the casaca with no issues. And then we have the cutting torch. I've got the furthest away location, or the one furthest up the city, but again no real issues in collecting the cutting torch and then getting it back to the casaca. Next one we're moving on to is the demolition charges. I think I've only done this one once before, but it all came flooding back to me as soon as I heard the Anneals being mentioned. But we get it back to the casaca, and it's now onto the weapons, and I always tend to go with the conspirator loadout, and we do get one of the office blocks rather than the Merryweather setup mission, which if you do get that one, you just need to destroy the helicopter and then restart it. Getting the weapons back to the casaca, we can then move on to the different approach vehicles, starting off with the sonar jammer inside the casaca. And as usual, having not found it at the first location, I did have to go around all 3 locations before we picked it up here at the helm. But we get it back to our own casaca, and then we can move on to the next approach vehicle, which is the Vellum. And this one is the exact same mission as the Gather Intel Vellum mission, only at a different location, so nothing too difficult. Simply take out the enemies, collect the Vellum, and then get it back to Madrazo's hangar down at LSIA. And with the Vellum delivered, we can move on to the patrol boat, which has got to be one of the most pain in the arse missions out there. You'll either have to go to the Alamo Sea and chase the patrol boat down, or break into Merryweather HQ and steal it from there. Either way, both of them still fairly difficult, but manageable. Moving on, we take a break from the approach vehicles and go to the disruption ones, and we start off with weapons. But unfortunately, when I got to the second location after taking out the Juggernaut, this happened. I wasn't quick enough in closing out it, so unfortunately that one was a failed one. But we move on to the armour disruption mission next, and we finish that off by destroying the tugboat there. And with that one done, that is a total of 10 out of the 25 done. Going back in though, we do the final disruption mission, which is air support, and it's taking out 10 buzzards. The final ones being on a barge out at sea. That then completes the disruption mission, so we're jumping back into the last of the approach vehicles, starting off with the Alcanost. So you're just breaking into the hangar at Fort Zancudo, taking out the enemies and then stealing the Alcanost and getting it back to Madrazo's hangar at LSIA. Now the second part to that one is collecting your pilot's plane as a favour to get him to actually fly you to Cayo if you choose to use the Stealth Annihilator or indeed the Alcanost. And you can complete the pilot mission on either the Stealth Annihilator or the Alcanost. It will count it as done for both once you've done it once. But moving back to the Stealth Annihilator, once again you're infiltrating the Meriwether base, where you do need to take out their multiple air defence units before you can actually steal the Stealth Annihilator and getting it back to Madrazo's hangar. But with all those prep missions completed for that particular heist, that is 14 out of the 25 required done. I did then complete the Cayo heist, and you may have saw I got 1.3 million, but it wasn't on hard mode. So we hung about for the 3 hours or so and got the hard mode activated, and it also meant that we could also complete the remaining 11 prep missions that we needed to finish off that requirement for tier 3. And with them all done, we are ready to go and hit the heist with the hard mode activated. I am doing it solo, so I do need to go and collect the secondary targets from the island itself, and as you saw we have 3 locations for the white stuff. So we jumped out at the main docks, collected the first pile of the white stuff before heading into the centre of the island into the fields to the second location for the white stuff packages. Now we did have to take out 3 of the guards here, but we didn't get detected doing that, so it's straightforward enough collecting these packages before we head back to the main dock to steal a dinghy and head round to the drainage tunnel. Now, having not been on the island for at least 4 months robbing from El Rubio, I was kind of being a bit more stealthy, taking my time a bit more just so as to ensure that I didn't get caught at all. So the elite was out of the question, unfortunately. But we do make it into the compound, and it is just the usual solo route up into the main house. Now if you are not doing it solo and you do have other players helping you out, you can certainly go and check out my video on which guards you can and cannot kill. I'll leave a link to that in the description. But once we're at the main house, we can take out the 3 guards here and hopefully pick up the gate keys. That way we can jump down and go in through the lower level. If we don't get the gate keys though, it does mean that we're hacking the elevator with the 4 hacks in the office up here. But luckily enough we collected the gate keys, and all we need to do is collect the money from the safe here and then head down to the lower level. Once you're at the lower level you will only have either 1 or 2 hacks on this keypad here, depending on whether or not it's in hard mode. You are then inside the basement vault and you can go ahead and collect the primary target. Once you've collected the main target, it's just a case of making your way out of the compound and getting off the island as quickly as possible. Now I do use the normal route of taking this motorbike and heading off to the left here, jumping off into the sea. And of course heading over to these 3 sea mines here finishes it off fairly quick without swimming away too far out. Now the only thing left to do is to complete it about another 33 times. I actually thought my days of grinding out this Cayo heist were over, but obviously not for just now. And so with that one complete, we do get the notification through for the tier 3 challenge of completing the Cayo Perico heist on hard mode. And jumping into the actual career progress, we can go ahead and collect the tier 3 reward, which is the blue DS Panthers cardigan. All that's left is to collect another 47 million from the primary and secondary targets. But there you have it guys. If you did enjoy today's video, do leave a like, and if you are new here, why not consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.